Jay, the last time we talked, you were playing, but part of a winning team here with the Pirates. How's that transition been to coaching?
Well, I think, Tom, that I really enjoy the coaching as much or more than I did playing. There's a little less pressure on me as a coach than there was as a player.
Sure.
I can't go out there and perform for them. They have to do it themselves. I'm just trying to give them as much truth as I possibly can so that they can hopefully gain a little knowledge and go out and have some success. But it has been a blast. It's been great to be back in Pittsburgh and a group of young men that are extremely enjoyable to coach. They are a group of young men that Pittsburghers should be extremely proud of.
We certainly are. And you know, Jay, back when you played, Pittsburghers were very proud of our Pirates back then, and this team does seem to have that same kind of attitude, work ethic, really play as a team from Pittsburgh should.
Yeah, they've got the great work ethic. First of all, they're blue collar style of group of players, and whenever you have that as a group of players, it makes it easy as a coach to coach them. And one of the things that they really enjoy is coming out and competing on a daily basis. They've done a really good job at maintaining their attitude about the wins and losses. One of the things that Clint does is he preaches preparation and making sure that he has an idea of, or that they have an idea of what they want to accomplish every day. And then once the results happen, they walk away knowing that they did everything that they could to have success. So it's been enjoyable to work with them.
Jay, you were a very intense player and a lot of fans. In fact, when I spoke with people and said I was going to have the opportunity to speak with Jay Bell, boy, he was my favorite player. So many people have told me that. And you played very intensely. You really left nothing on the field. How do you translate that for the young players to let them know that that's part of the protocol, that's part of the work ethic of being a Pittsburgh Pirate and being a big league ball player?
Well, I think one of the things that you want to do is, Philippians 2 talks about making sure that you really strive to be Christ-like.
That's right.
And as far as I'm concerned, one of the things that he did is he humbled himself, but there was a particular agenda that he had. Although he was a servant to all, one of the things that he wanted to do is he wanted to make sure that he did it in a particular way that gave honor and glory to God. And that was one of the things that I did as a Christian baseball player. I wanted to try and play to the fullest of my ability, and certainly it's an emotional game. There are times where the emotions get the better of you, but at the same time, one of the things that you want to do is you want to give it, you want to play as hard as you possibly can every single day, and that's what I try to do.
A passage that's a favorite of mine, in fact, my family's verse for this year is also in Philippians, and it's in chapter 3, next chapter, and it just says, forgetting what lies behind.
Right.
And then we reach forward to what lies ahead. How are you able to do that as a coach, and how are you able to translate that for your players? You play 162 games, and sometimes they're not real good, but how you just let that behind and leave it behind and move forward.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Philippians 3. I was reading it this morning, so I know exactly what you're talking about. It's one of those things where, good or bad, you cannot go back and change the past.
No.
It is what it is, and the awesome thing about it is that one of the things that we try and do is we try and encourage the guys to prepare themselves daily to be excellent, to be the best they possibly can be. And then at the end of the day, one way or the other, whatever the result may be, they should be able to hold their heads high and walk away knowing that they gave full effort. And sometimes the effort that the other team is going to have is going to be, or the outcome that the other team is going to have is going to be better than ours. But at the same time, if you can give full effort every single day, you can walk away knowing that you did everything you could to help your team succeed that night.
Jay, if I can ask a personal question, you have to balance a lot, because obviously the intensity of being a coach in the major leagues, but then being a husband and a father and all of the different roles that you play. How are you able to keep them balanced?
Well, the nice thing about it is I'm getting older now, and I don't have to balance it quite as much as I used to. But with Brianna married and Brantley out of the house now, and Brock being the only one left, certainly it is much easier to balance all three of those. But Laura still is a huge fan of the game. She loves coming to the ballpark. It was nice this summer whenever she was here, so it's a little more difficult now doing a long distance. But it is it's one of those things where this is my priority right at this moment in time, and to have that priority certainly is Christ-centered, and I want to do the best I possibly can and make sure that Christ is involved in every aspect. So whenever I talk to Laura on the phone, it's certainly Christ is centered in that conversation, and hopefully the way I coach is indicative of who I am as a believer as well.
Final question, Jay. As men, we all struggle trying to get the right priorities in life. What would you say to a man or woman who would be watching this about how getting the right priority in life means making Christ number one?
Well, again, when we talk about the priorities, I don't believe that we should take and we should say, Christ is number one on a daily basis. I think Christ should be number one in every aspect. Again, there were times where my priority was playing baseball. I was on the field. I had to do that. I couldn't worry about my family at home. I couldn't worry about Laura, what she was going through. My priority was baseball. There were times where Laura was my priority. There were other times where my kids were my priority. But at the same time, again, in every sense of the word, whatever my priority was that particular moment in time, Christ was centered in every one of those moments.